We can see you.
Yeah.
Bad angle.
How come I have a bad angle? Oh, I like this nose thing. Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. We can see you were going like this.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to have to hold my nose down. I'm going to have to hold my nose down, everybody. So that's.
Can't you raise the computer?
I'm working on it, Denise. I promise.
Just have John stand there and hold it.
Or lower the chair.
Oh my God. It's like working with a bunch of kibitzers. Why are iPads like this? I don't have to type anything, I don't think. Will that work?
Oh, yeah. Right up here. Now we're tiles, yeah.
Okay, that won't work either. I tried. All right, I'll figure it out. Okay, somebody tell a joke. All right, between now and the time we get going.
Why aren't you sitting at a desk?
I don't know. Is that better?
Oh, yeah, that's better. Uh-huh.
But that's not the way it's supposed to go. All right, I'll figure it out in a second. Let me go see what. This is just nerve-wracking. So I've got my buddy Chris Ebersberg here. So you guys stick around.
Oh,
God.
God.
Do you hear me about breaking my neck right there? All right, so don't move.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting dizzy.
Relax.
Tablecloth shirt, the squares on the ceiling.
Oh, then now you get a view of the what? That's the heating ductwork in the.
Okay, is that any better?
Yeah, you're like Jean in the closet. That's good.
Yeah, closet's fine. It's tough being poor.
There you
Okay.
go.
All right, I did it. I'm in Mary Ann's studio, which is always fun. And now we're rolling. Good evening, everybody. It is good to see you. And I'm going to go to the studio view here. I hope you all texted your people and told them to get on this call. Critically important. Probably the most important call of the week, in my humble opinion. Not so humble opinion, because it's unplugged. It's ready to roll. And we're going to start an influencer group. And the influencer group, Chris, are you on here yet? No, all you do is go to TomChenaultZoom.com. TomChenaultZoom.com, and it'll bring you in on Zoom. Anyway, Chris is my buddy. He was my upline in New Skin. He is a systems guy at a major league level, and he's going to help me with all the parameters of the influencer group I'm starting. And it's going to be bringing you guys in to let you have a chance to decide whether or not you really want to build a huge network marketing business or not. And the intentionality is going to go up about 50 times, and it's going to be a closed group. And the only way you're going to get into it is agree that you are up to playing it bigger than you've ever played in your life. And so we are going to do that. We are going to knock them dead. One thing that's happened to me over the last few weeks is I'm realizing how important. I'm trying to get to the chat page. There we go. Yeah, you can be a part of it, Adrian. We're going to let you in. At the end of the day, we are going to make this thing and make our organization, meaning I don't care who you are in longevity, nobody's excluded. But that organization called People Who Want to Play It Big, there will be nothing but multi-level marketing going on. It will be GoPro every day. It will be the ANMP every day. It will be us teaching you everything that we know about network marketing and not apologizing for the fact that we're network marketers, and just deep intentionality, deep all that. And it's going to start now. And one thing that I know is systems are critical. And one thing I know right now is it's great to want to be a network marketer. It's great that you want to have all the time in the world. It's great that you want to have all the money in the world. It's great that you want to have great health. Now, Denise and I are living proof that that's possible. Dead drunk, alcoholic, laying in the street, me. Denise, when I met her, 1 penny in her checking account, selling shampoo, single mom, little boy, relying on a paycheck. Every time she was late, she got up every morning, and on her voicemail, you will hear her say in a minute, the specific measurable results that this guy that at this place called, whatever it was called, that she worked, This guy would leave a message every morning of what Denice had done yesterday, how far she missed her mark, what she needed to do today, and if she didn't do it, she was in trouble. And we don't have those kind of standards here. We don't have that kind of line. And what we're going to help you do is develop that line of your own. I got called to the woodshed today by Adrian and Rick from Contact Map. They brought me in. They said, Tom, here's what you need to do. And I said, okay, here's what I want to do in that conversation. I want to tell you just like John Maxwell said at GoPro, I want to tell you the 5 things that I'm going to do every day inside of my habits towards contact mapping, inside of my habits toward my life. And I'm going to show them to you so I'm like in my word, and you've got permission to hold me accountable to that. Now, Chris is going to talk about that in a few minutes, but what we've got to do, one thing that makes me crazier than crazy is that so many people talk about wanting to do this, and Denice and I have shown you how we did it, and you're not following our lead. So what I want to know on this page, and I'm looking at David Peters, and I'm looking at James Earl Moore, I'm looking at Jennifer Bishop, I'm looking at Peggy Gleason, I'm looking at Caroline Pell. You couldn't have taken the quiz because I haven't written it yet. I'm looking at Kelly Saunderson, and I'm looking at Adrian. I'm looking at Pamela Schwartz. I'm looking at Marianne, who told me earlier. If you want to be in this group of take no prisoners, do what Tom does to get what Tom got, you need to tell me right now. And then Marianne is going to take, the one from the radio show, good girl. Oh, good, from, Agmandino, good girl, Caroline. At the end of the day, I want you to say yes, me. So if you want to be on there, tell me yes right now. And all you need to do is say yes, because Ann Parker, that's beautiful. Oh, you guys are walking right into my trap. I just wish you knew how badly it's going to be for you right now. Okay, so that's really good. So if you wanted to define me, God, you guys are so crazy. If you wanted to define Tom Chenault, you would say, here's what he does every day. He interviews 2 people, he 3-ways one with his upline, and he contact maps everybody. So I want you to keep that in the back of your mind. And if you don't think that's what I do, I want you to tell me in the comments, Tom, you're full of bulla. That's not what you do. And I'm going to tell you whether or not you were right. I think I do that, but you've got the right to tell me I'm wrong. Now, Denice, we're coming to you now. You beautiful, beautiful woman with your glasses, who is absolutely gorgeous, who I get to have dinner with in a couple minutes. I get to pick up. It's going to be so fun, and I can hardly wait to see you. But now I want you to talk a little bit about insights that you got from GoPro while these people are sitting here in their heads wondering what in the world I just tricked them into, because it's going to be so funny here in a few minutes. And I want you to talk a little bit while I type. So go ahead. How are you?
I'm the space filler.
You were great. This is what we're going to do.
Well, I mean, of course, I started a new notebook because the other one was filled up. And so what that means is that, and after I had the other one for a couple of years, and so at the end, if I already had content in there, then I wasn't necessarily adding it to that book. But then since I'm starting over, now I'm adding content like I've never heard it before. And so that's how I listened at GoPro is as a beginner. But, I mean, I think that Eric Worre is always, he always has such great insights from a network marketing standpoint. Of course, everybody who was there were network marketers. The very first, probably day, the evening and the next day was 99% about social media. And so, that really just made me realize that, first of all, I've got to step that up, and it can get overwhelming. And so if you're really not well versed in that world, pick Facebook, pick Instagram. I would say Facebook because Youngevity does so much on Facebook anyway. but and really start studying how to post effectively, how to do Facebook Lives effectively, the story feature, and there's some crossover with Instagram and Facebook, but really what you need to know about the two is that when you go on Instagram, your page should look like a magazine. I mean, Instagram is very visual, and it's really with both of those two medias, it's all about engagement. It's all about creating the relationship. And there's a lot of people like Angel Fletcher and her husband who, they're in different, Ray said that he's like in 3,000 different Facebook groups having nothing to do with network marketing, building relationship. And they're groups that he is interested in. So it's not like it's torture, but he actually creates a spreadsheet to keep track of what he's commented on, who he's contacted. And it's like anything. It's like going out and doing the coffee shop interview in person, but you're doing it online. And so it's all about creating a relationship, being positive in those individual Facebook groups, whether it's, fly fishing group, you're going in and you're commenting, you're creating relationship. You're not just going in and spilling everything about longevity in there. So again, it's how do you get people into the funnel? And one of the ways people are being very effective is getting people into the funnel using social media. Now, if you don't like being online like that, because literally it can, you can do that 24 hours a day, which is great for a lot of people who don't have, maybe they live in a small town, and so you can, that's one way to get out there and create relationship. So because there was so much time put aside for social media, that just shows me how important it is, right? And then on the back end, we got home on a Saturday, and then Tom and Marianne and Adrian and I went and spent a day with Haley Hobson, who is with doTERRA, and she did a full day seminar just on social media and marketing. And let's see, 32 to 48. So I took 16 pages of notes during that time. And, she's a $2 million earner in doTERRA, and she lives in Boulder. She lives about 20 minutes away from us. But the way that she really has built her business is through social media. And at the point where she's at right now, she has employed a lot of experts in that field. And so we paid and we went and took her course. So I think that what I got from that is, if you don't know it, go learn it. And you may have to pay for it. You may have to pay for a day or 2 days or a week. But if you really do want to become more effective and efficient and have better results, then you've got to do the homework. And so, that was really, and I see Adrian and Rick there. What did you think, Adrian?
Unbelievable. There's so much to take in, but it doesn't have to be, we don't have to make it complicated. And I think that's what I think I'm trying to do right now. And I think we're collectively trying to do, having had these experiences over the last 2 weeks, is go, what's the essential piece of this that we can encapsulate and take to everybody and build the snowball from there, but that we've got a great kind of core to that snowball that is going to really go fast. And so there is a real skill around this thing. It is work, but it's work that pays if you're willing to do it.
Yeah, it really is. There's a lot of balls to juggle, but people are doing it. It's like Angel and wait, is his name Ray or Roy? I can't remember. Anyway, her husband. Or is it completely different? I don't know.
Ryan Higgins.
Anyway, right, yeah.
Ryan Hayes.
Yeah. So I mean, they're very successful at it, and I think that, if, like I said, pick one, or if you're already on Facebook and you want to learn Instagram, there really is an art to it, and you get what you give. And so it's not just about what you post. You've really got to spend the time on not only on your own content, making it valuable to others, and but also going in and commenting and putting emojis and all that stuff in other people's content as well. So it's out and in. And so it's really important because, it just, and whatever, if you can spend as much time or as you can make it as efficient as possible. If you want, you can put a 15-minute timer on and do it for 15 minutes and then go do something else. Because I know, especially on that Instagram, I can get totally sucked in because I love the format.
Kelsey Britton, unmute her. Let's talk to her. Let's talk to Ann Parker real quick. And because we're in this world called network marketing via Instagram and social media, because all of us are learning. I mean, we're young, we're old, we're in between, and we have one thing in common, and that is a huge why. And the second thing in common is we're not afraid to learn. So, Kelsey, you've had unbelievable success. You are probably the longevity poster girl in social media and longevity. And what I love about what's going on with you is you are rank advancing and doubling your business on a monthly basis because you finally cracked the code and realize what it took. And what you're doing is multi-level marketing inside of social media instead of trying to make them separate and distinct. And I love that. Talk about that a little bit, will you please?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay? Wasn't expecting to talk, so.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So yeah, we have basically built most of our business through social media. And I said in the chat, like today I gained a new customer, and it's just because I was meal prepping food. And of course I use our longevity spices. But I don't like post a picture of the spice. I'll just post a picture of the food and it looks really good. And that's part of my lifestyle. And so I had someone message me and be like, oh my gosh, I need your recipe. That looks delicious. And so I would just respond back, that started the conversation. I would say something like, it's so incredibly simple. You're going to laugh whenever I give you this recipe, which all it was seriously was like chicken breast and one of our savor spices. And so they're like, okay, well, I need that spice. And it was really that easy, but that's like not coming out of the gates possible. That's because I've taken the time to really almost create a brand for myself. Like the people who follow me on Instagram and Facebook, they know that I'm like this health mama. And so they know to come to me for gluten-free recipes. They know to come to me if, their kid has a cold and they want to do something natural. They know to come to me if, they need some workout advice on how to work out with kids, right? Because that's just my lifestyle. That's my brand, and that's what I'm putting out there. I'm not constantly acting like QVC on social media. No offense to QVC, but a lot of people do that where their feed is just a constant commercial and there's no mystery, and that really turns a lot of people off. People want to connect with you as a person and not the product that you're selling, even though it's the best product in the world and everyone should be on it. So we really focused on building our brand that way, and just kind of being ourselves, being real and showing all the stuff, like the hot mess moments. Like this morning, my 3-year-old locked my bathroom door and then shut it. So I couldn't get into my bathroom for like 3 hours because I couldn't find the screwdriver to unlock the door. And I shared that in my story because that's relatable, right? I'm wanting to connect with other moms who have these problems, who have these toddlers that are dictating our lives. And, people laugh and think it's funny and they connect with me. And then when I do promote a product or, what I do for a living, then they believe me because they've seen all of the real, right? It's not just a constant commercial for the 90 for life or for the Hemp FX or for the Rev 90. It's just us being real in our life. And so we built our business that way. But then through the last 6 months, we really reflected, Dustin and I, on how we could make this, like what we do, how can we make it duplicatable, right? So that's really what has pushed our team. Is it's not just what are we doing on social media, it's what are we doing on social media that our team can do as well. So you might see similar graphics that people are posting, you might see similar wording. We're just creating resources for our team so that we know that they're promoting on social media the correct way as well.
Wow. All right. You guys follow her on Instagram. I just followed her and Ann Parker. I wasn't following either one of them. I didn't even know it. And I don't even know how to do this Instagram. I can't even spell Instagram. I don't even know what it is. But I'm learning day by day because we have to teach this old dog new tricks. And you look at Adrian, and that guy right behind him is Dr. Rick Manelius from MIT. So here's a guy with a PhD from MIT sitting there watching you learn this. Because no matter how smart you are, you have still got bandwidth to learn. Why would Rick Manelius be doing this? Because he wants to learn how to cook chicken with those spices. That's the only reason. He is all about the chicken and the spices deal. He wasn't listening at all. I was watching, and all of a sudden his ears perked up when somebody said chicken with spices. It was unbelievable. So now we go over to Ann Parker. So, and then we're going back to Denice.
Oh, hi guys.
Hi.
I just had one little Instagram tip. The stories, Kelsey, I'm with you. The stories are where people are now. They're not necessarily looking at what you're putting on Instagram. And that was one of the things I learned at the what's her name again? The doTERRA girl, Haley Hobson. That was one of the things I learned there. So sometimes put things in your Instagram news feed, but then throughout the day, for the entire day, share your life on your story. And then there's this little sticker you can put on your Instagram stories, and there's a hashtag sticker. So I love keto and I teach keto. And so I started hashtagging. First of all, I started to try and find hashtags that resonated with me on Instagram. And I wrote them down. So I'm constantly looking at those hashtags and going and finding new people to follow and like and keeping lists of all that so I can connect with new people. But then there's one hashtag, like you kind of want to find hashtags that maybe have 20, 30, 40,000 posts, not millions, because your stuff is just going to get lost in the feed. So I found keto meal prep. Who knew? So I normally have about 100 people who look at my stories, and it's like all my friends and family. But I put keto meal prep on my pictures now, and I'm getting 600 views from people that like want to know keto meal prep. So I'm realizing that's a sign. So I'm going to start doing more keto meal prep content and putting it in my story. And then I should add in the spices as well. That's a great idea, Kelsey.
The people talking to the most people win. That's all this boils down to. So all of you so I want you to know something before I go back to Denice. In a few minutes, I am going to talk about this influencer group at a level that you won't believe. And if it's about wanting to do what I do to get what I got. So we're going to form a closed group and really, really get intentional and coach you to where you want to go rank-wise. And if you want to check with your upline because it contradicts with what they do, that's fine by me. So call up Lewis or call up Corey or call up Cheryl or call up whoever you want to call up and say, Tom Chenault's trying to do this. Do you want us to join this thing or do you want us to boycott? And if they tell you to boycott, I'm telling you to boycott it. If Louis Ariaza tells you not to do it, don't do it. If Scott Ferdulis tells you not to do it, don't do it. I don't care. And if you want, that's that simple, because I promise you, Those guys are better network marketers than I am. So I am going to tell you that I am not going to contradict your upline. So that's not my goal here. Everything I do is 100% dyed in the wool network marketing experience inside of longevity, nothing else. Nothing's going to change that. I'm going to get you to the convention. And to get in the group, by the way, this is going to make you sick and you can't erase what you already wrote. To get in that group, one of the requirements is you have to be registered for the convention. So that's going to, so I know all of a sudden, yeah, I know you are, whoever that is, Caroline Bell, you have to be registered for convention. So that's one of them. Because if you're taking this business seriously, you have to be registered for convention. So I told you I'm going to make you sick before this is all over. Going back to Denise, take it away, baby cakes. Let's go.
What do you want me to talk about?
Whatever you want. You opened up the can of worms on Instagram and open up another one.
Oh gosh, I don't know where to go now. I don't know. There's so much, honey. Where? Okay, so let's
jump in on. Sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead, Adrian.
But let me add one more thing on Instagram while you decide where we go next. So here, stories are number one really important because that's where people are hanging out. Stories are number two important because when people comment on your stories, that comment starts a direct chat conversation with you, whether they like it or not. So the moment that they do anything in response to it, they have now set you a private channel message that now has given you permission to take that into a conversation with them. And whereas on your feed, when they comment, you can reply, but the likelihood that they're going to see it, remember, whatever, is low. And so your batting average on actually turning that into a copy shop interview is infinitely higher through stories than vice versa. And the same is true on commenting on other people's stories. So when you comment on somebody else's story, they almost inevitably are going to give you some kind of little heart or something to acknowledge the fact that you did that. And if you play it right and you ask a question that is intriguing to them and that gives them a chance to shine off the back of it, you have now opened a portal into a conversation with somebody that you wouldn't have otherwise been able to have. And that's extremely powerful.
Wow. So you guys, okay, so I am using Instagram now. And all these people are commenting like crazy. And because I'm a train wreck, and most of them are women from Africa. So I have never looked in there. I mean, I tell you, I look in there and I scroll through it. It never dawned on me that that was the case whatsoever, that I was creating conversation that I could take to the next level. And that makes nothing but sense to me. And I hope you guys understood that. In conversation and communication is everything. It's that simple. Conversation and communication is everything. So I don't care. I'm trying to hold my nose down for Denise. So at the end of the day, and I'm not looking at you, and now it looks like
it's only when you read, because then you're looking through your bifocals, so you're going like this, so you're looking like this, and then you're looking down, and so we're
looking like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. I'm gonna get you if you haven't registered for convention yet. I'm gonna get you, but you can't see up my nose. So here's the deal. So I'm telling you, I'm learning something every minute. So that was very, very good. Kelsey Britton just volunteered next Tuesday to do a social media training for half of this call. Would you guys like that?
Yeah.
Put it in the comments, yes or no.
It's Christmas.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay. You don't get in the club. You're not getting into the influencer club.
Oh, God, don't.
Flimsy excuse called Christmas, baby Jesus's birthday. I guess we'll let you off on Christmas and New Year's. All right. That's funny. That's on Tuesday.
Well, so this is a really good opportunity because, next Tuesday is Christmas, and then the following Tuesday is New Year's Day. So let's talk about, at the end of GoPro, Eric wrapped it up with talking about goals and outcomes. So it's the next 2 weeks is a really good time to think about what is your goal for 2019, your income goal, your rank goal, and then talking about what habits because you're a byproduct of your habit. What habits do you have to create in order to get there? And he talked about having, first of all, action, taking action, consistency in the action. All of us, me too. It's like, what are you doing every single day to get to where you want to go? Are you using your product daily, sharing the product daily, inviting someone to the next event? It could be the next opportunity meeting. It could be the February 2nd in Houston meeting, whatever that is. And then engaging in personal growth. Discipline. The thing with this is like trying to herd cats sometimes, because we all have life. Everybody in our downline has life. And a lot of times the life screams at us louder than our longevity business. And so what discipline do you have to have in your day to be able to get you to where you want to go with your goal in 2019? With that, of course, is focus. You really, when you're focused on getting there, then the discipline is rather easy. That was kind of the whole point around 65 and a wake up. And then grit, because you got to have grit, because it's not all a box of cherries. It's sometimes not fun. We're dealing with people. People can be unreasonable. I'm dealing with Tom. Tom can be unreasonable. And, so we've all got to have grit. And then being problem solvers, that's one of the characteristics also that Eric talks about when he talks about being an influencer is they're problem solvers. So you don't have to freak out and make a call every time something happens. You can figure it out and deal with it. And so in order to get to your goal, customers, we've got to have customers. And luckily with all of our great product lines and services, we really have an easy time around customers. Recruiting, how many more legs do you need to build out? Right? If you're going to get to 5-star, how many more, if you're going to get to 3-star, how many legs do you need to build out? How many viable legs? A lot of times people think, I've got one leg built, and then you see who really shows up, like Tom said, to convention. And, really, when you look at the group that shows up with you to convention, that's a strong tell as far as who's in your business, who's really in your business. Rank advancement, where do you want to go? And then finding out with people on your team, your business leaders, where do they want to go? And then skill development. What skills do you need to develop? Where are you weak in the seven fundamental skills? Where do you need to develop? Is it social media? Is that someplace that you could get better to be able to get you to your goal? And then leadership. How are your leadership skills? What kind of risks do you need to take as a leader this year? Man, this mouth, my brain's working, my mouth isn't. What kind of risk do you need to take to be a leader to get you to the next level? Because that's what it's going to take. It's going to take the courage and the risk to go out there and do it lousy until you're able to do it well, right? Leadership development, again, creating influencers in your business. And then culture. Do you have a strong culture in your team? What culture do you want to be known for? Being clear on that. Maybe 5 things tops that you want your team to be known for in your culture, in your group. I'm almost done. And then geographical expansion. Where do you want to go? Are you still small enough that you just want to build in your own hometown? Are there areas where you have relatives to that you want to go and build in, or you have a great friend someplace in another town? Where do you want to go? Is your business strong enough where you think, you know what, I might want to go to Australia? Now, here's the thing about geographical expansion. If you're going overseas, this isn't something that you can really do effectively just over Zoom and the phone. You've got to make a real concerted effort to go down, usually once a quarter if you're going to be someplace other than in, you know, your own state. And then the destination event experience. So around convention, hey, maybe you plan a party for you and your team. Don't always think that it's up to your upline's responsibility to do that. Maybe you take them out to lunch. You don't even have to pay for it. Just, you know, having that experience either during the convention or on the front end or the back end, it's not going to cost you a lot more if you want to have your team stay one more day and do some sort of team building or leadership training. But that's another really great way to get people, you know, you want to have a compelling reason for people to go. And so that fear of loss is sometimes one of those reasons. Okay, back to you.
That was tremendous. Thank you. And I know this is really hard stuff. And I know that it's a hard business. I know also that you're all, I think Christmas for almost everybody on this call is next Tuesday. And I know that at Christmas, every one of you would like your unhealthy relatives to take your product. I know, you know, that I see Jim McCormick, either the CBD unbelievable product that he and Linda are absolutely killing it at, or the 90 for life or something. Every one of you want that to happen, or you want your cousin Joey, who is dead broke, to start doing the business, but you know that it's going to be a train wreck if you just walk in there with a whiteboard. So I'm going to tell you the tip of the day that you are going to love me for, that you're going to hate me for in the same breath. And here's the deal. You know who's coming to Christmas. Every one of you know who's coming to Christmas right now, all of you. And you know who's on the list. Your uncle, your aunt, your cousin, the ne'er-do-well, your sick Uncle George, all those people. And you're dreading the conversation because you know that you want to talk to them about longevity and you know it's not going to go well. And so what I want you to do is think about this today. Why don't you call them right now, right when this call's over, and interview them before you get there? And say, and so we're talking about the ne'er-do-well right now. And the ne'er-do-well is going to completely think you're on drugs when you call a week before Christmas to say, guess what, cousin Joey, it is really great to talk to you. I can't wait to see you next week. Tell me what's going on in your life. And he's going to be looking at that phone going, oh my gosh, what is going on? Why is she calling me? I didn't even want to see him in a week, and here I'm going to see him. I know she's going to throw up on me on that multi-level marketing idea. What's going on here? And you're going to interview them without talking about anything. And you're going to find out what's going on in their life, even though you know what's going on in their life. They haven't got any money. Their house is being foreclosed on, and you're just getting reinforcement, and you're looking for follow-up touch points. And then you see them at Christmas, and you say, you know, it was so great talking to you last week. I've been thinking about you, and I really think that I could help you out. We ought to have a cup of coffee after Christmas, or we ought to get on a three-way call after Christmas with this friend of mine who's my upline. His name is Corey Gold. We got to get on the phone with my upline. It's Louis Ariaza. I've got to get on the phone with my upline. It's whomever it is. I promise you that conversation is going to shift from dread to caring, and it will work like a charm. You've got to lead. So you got to mute whoever it is. Okay. Okay. All right. So that's what you need to do. And if you can do that, it's going to change the price of poker 100%. So think about the Christmas list with no agenda. Call them. And most of them, you don't even, you know, your mom, your dad, your grandmother, your grandfather, they're all going to be flipped out that you called them today and tomorrow. And all you're really doing is setting up the conversation. Give it a rise. What is going on? James.
There's this Mary Nichols. Can you mute yourself? I'm not able to. Oh.
Yeah, Mary. Hey, Mary, you gotta get yourself muted. Okay. So at the end of the day, that's what I want you to do. And going back to this influencer thing, I know that it feels like it's hard for you. but I know that that's what you want to do. So I want to ask you, Kelly, are you able to talk? Are you at work, Kelly, right now? Can you talk? You're allowed to? Unmute Kelly. So Kelly, you said you want to be in the club. You want to earn enough money to come to the convention. You want to be in the influencer group. Are you interviewing 2 people a day and 3-way and 1 with your upline every day?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Are you using the contact mapping app every day?
Not every day.
Okay. So you want what I've got. You have to do what I do. And
Yep.
I know you. You have made tens of thousands of dollars a month in network marketing, and it got ripped out from you in a very ungood way. And it almost killed you. It almost killed your marriage. It almost killed your husband. And I am trying to make you cry because I'm trying to get you to remember those days and remember where you are right now. And you need to remember that, because I knew this was going to happen. I love you. Because
You're mean.
you have to do, look at that little girl behind you. Turn around and tell her it's okay. So, because I know for a fact that you want this more than air in your lungs, but you've got to do more than you've ever done, even though it isn't fun. And you've got to develop that discipline to develop the habit. Do you understand that?
Oh, we love you. Look how cute. Are those your girls?
Yes, my son's here beside me as well.
Oh, look at that, like Heidi. Oh, and not all girls. Pardon me.
Oh my God, this is awesome.
Oh, we love you, Kelly. Oh, look, they're putting the curtains up. They're like, adios.
This is not, normally that's all hidden, but because it's school holidays, I share my office with them. They also get to help me do stuff. So.
Awesome.
Who was that very short-haired girl on your right? She's ugly.
This is my son, Barrett.
Oh, okay, sorry. All right, good. All right. So am I wrong or am I wrong or am I right?
You're right. I absolutely. I mean, Denise and I have been talking. It's a lot of fear stuff. It's a lot of burnout that I've had from previous, and just getting myself ready. But this word influencer. That's a big one for me, and I guess now I'm ready to step back into that.
And why aren't you using the app every day? Is it not working for you? Or is it working so well it reminds you every day of how far you are behind? What
Absolutely.
is it?
It's the how far I'm behind. So, and this is probably a good question on the app, because I had an aha moment during your live, the Tom Chenault show earlier. I've got a list, big, massive list that emails and database, and absolutely and not a great follow-up, totally not good at that. However, the aha moment was, how can that app fit into, can it manage my 14,000 names, emails, phone numbers with a slow follow-up?
No. And guess what? It's going to, as you initiate a conversation, they go into the app, and if you got 14,000 people active, we wouldn't be living in a curtain closet. We'd be living in a mansion with somebody feeding you strawberries with a chocolate fountain over your head. And I've got 18,000 people in my phone, but of that, and Adrian couldn't believe it the other day, because I went to the iPhone and he said, Tom, you got to learn this iPhone to teach contact mapping because you've already got the Android handle. And so I said, well, if you guys want to dump all my contacts, I'm good with that. And he and Rick almost had a heart attack. But it wouldn't have bothered me, because I know who drives my business, and they would have shown back up, and I would have started re-engaging with them freshly. And I didn't want to do that, but I'm not scared of that, because my relationships are deep. I have everybody in here, and as you look at it, I'm just going to show you a quick screenshot. Those are the names of all the people I have to call every morning, and I'm taking them out of focus because I don't want you to see who they are. That's the leaders, and that thing goes on for pages below that. Those are the people that pay me. Those are my influencers that pay me. And then it goes down from there on my speed dialer. Inside my app is a whole different conversation. I have to remind myself to call Dave Brisky once a week, to call Lauren Castronovo, to text them once a week, and just tell them thank you. Steve Wallach, Michelle Wallach. I do all that. I let the app do all the reminding for me. So I am absolutely in integrity on those things that I wouldn't do otherwise. But if I jam too much information in there, then I have nothing more than another jammed system. So it's got to be powerful. And if I find it owning me, I take a lot of those relationships that I had dialed in to follow up once a week, and I throw them out a year because I've got to stay on top of it. That's what we're going to help you do. Does that make sense?
Fantastic. Bring it on.
So the name of the game is get up to speed with it. Anybody that wants to understand that, I'm going to look at the comments here and see if there's anybody else here I want to totally rip their face off on. Because I told you I was going to do that to you, because if you're not using the app, if you're not using the Longevity Go-To app, and if you're not interviewing 2 people a day in conversation and the whole 3-way and 1 with your upline, I let you all off the hook so much on that deal by letting you do the 2 that nobody's even 3-way calling people anymore. And with the social media, you're having conversations that, you can add people in and have that. Ann Parker almost swallowed her cigar today. I caught her naked. And how that happened was I just called her on, not really, I saw her, she didn't have a shoe on, her foot was naked. You guys relax. And so so the first thing that came on, because she didn't know how to turn the camera around, but I had Chris Ebersberg, who's this guy that's going to talk next, and he's in Denver, and he's just joined the business with us. And as a result, they're going to start really turning Denver on for longevity. So I wanted to introduce her. But what was so cool is I did a 3-way call today. And Chris Ebersberg, I brought him into the business. He's enrolling tonight. And I used Ann as my expert and Ann as my potential in Denver, because I need to do that every day. And it's easier on social media, on Zoom and on Facebook than it is with a phone. And Ann, I mean, look at how beautiful she is. So she didn't know what she was doing. So her camera was even closer. And then Chris and I were on the screen, and it was like a real conversation of human beings being human beings. And you know what you are more than anything else, everybody? Human beings. So what I want to do now is introduce Chris, because he is the missing link. So, and it wasn't planned. Yeah, no, that was completely spontaneous. I brought her into a 3-way call. She about swallowed her cigar. And it was so fun, and she's walking around the house because she didn't want us to see the messy corner. So she went over to the clean part of the house. It was very cute. And then she had her face really close because she didn't want to see anything behind her. It was too funny. But at the end of the day, Chris was my upline in New Skin. He was the man. When I first came into New Skin, here's Chris Ebersberg. He was about 6 years younger than me. He was the most handsome, most vibrant guy I ever met in my life. He had this beautiful wife. She was from Germany or something. Her name was Sylvia. They lived in Breckenridge. They had trainings in Breckenridge. He knew it all. He was something called a blue diamond. He was making all the money. And then I left New Skin, and he stayed there. And then he ultimately left, started a network marketing company, started another network marketing company. He totally got screwed. He got out of the business. He went out to Solar City and other solar companies, completely reinvented those companies. They totally hosed him the other day, and he said, I've had enough. I was successful in network marketing. I've even learned more about human beings and human behavior. I'm going to go back in. I'm going to choose companies. I told him on the phone, he about swallowed his cigar. He contacted me. I told him to go look at 4 other companies. He could not believe I said that to him. He came in the door. I put him on the phone with Steve Wallach. He looked us in the eye. I thought he was going to leave for another month to do due diligence. James was sitting right there. He said, Tom, I'm in. I'm joining you. I'm joining this team. I'm joining Longevity. We're going to take it to the moon. And I am all for taking everything that I've learned over all these years and helping everybody in longevity. My goal is to become a 5-star, earning $83,000 a month in 23 months. And here's my plan to do it. I said, not only do I want you to do that, I want you to take everybody in 65 and a wake up and every one of the other influencer wannabes with us. Would you do that? He said, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Chris Ebersberg.
Oh my, that's big shoes to follow there, Tom.
Take it away.
So nice to meet everybody. I like the concept of influencer. I was privileged to see John Maxwell at GoPro, and his book, Leadership is all about influence. I mean, influencer equals leader. And why do we want to lead people? Why do we want to influence people? Why do we even need a group of individuals that we have to come together to commit to influencing? Probably because we want to change our behavior, and so that we want to have some sort of accountability to make sure that we go forward day by day and not left to our own head and the squirrel cage and all the procrastination that goes on up there. So really it's about accountability. It's a team committed to a particular set of actions based on a particular set of activities. And since all behavior is based on belief, our core belief, all we have to do is address our belief first and foremost, and we can address our behavior. Belief is about staying in the game. Belief is about what Tom just announced, me making a very big and bold commitment. And that's what we talk about is making a commitment. So with my team and the people that I've worked with in the past, I was able to take a solar team in Denver from about $300,000 a month in sales to over $5 million within about 2.5 years. 22 people, we ultimately built out to a market that was called a no-growth market. And we based it on something we call an impeccable agreement. And when I bring somebody on board, whether it's to sell part-time or to build a large organization, we have to have an agreement. We have to have clear communications. Tom and I know a phrase, it's a little offensive. It's called the CRAP principle, C-R-A-P. Communication resolves all problems. And really the impeccable agreement talks about how we can enter into an executable agreement so that there are no unfulfilled expectations. And it's really a simple process. We determine our preferred future. What do we want to accomplish together? Why are we even doing this? Then we're going to outline each of the individual expectations. What am I going to do? What are you going to do? And what are we going to do collectively? Then we're going to tacitly understand each other's parts and roles in the agreement. Then we're going to engage in our activity. And then if we can't fulfill our activities, we're going to renegotiate it. And this is where the communication comes in. Let no unresolved issues go unresolved. Make sure that every day ends with a clear communication. Then we move forward with the old plan if we can, or a new plan if we have to adjust it, or we may even abandon the plan. But it's all about impeccability in our agreements. And then we fulfill the expectation. You see, life is a series of interventions. It's really what it is. We influence. Once we put our rock in the stream of somebody's life, we influence the flow of that stream. And since we're doing that, we need to be cautious as to what our interstate is. It's been said that the quality of an intervention is based and contingent upon or in direct proportion to the quality of the state of the intervener. So we need a group of people to band together, to work together to make sure that we're staying online with our commitments. My team, I have a 48-hour call. It goes over basically what do we do? What do we commit to in the last three items in the last 2 days? Did we do it? Did we not do it? Was the goal too high, too low? What do we need to do to reset it? What negative self-talk did I have in my head going on, limiting self-beliefs? What did I do to overcome that? And what's my commitment for the next 20 or 48 hours? What 3 things do I have to commit to and get to and make sure that, that I do that? So 10 minutes every 48 hours with my team. We commit to those things and we execute. We have all sorts of plans and strategies to take this to the next level. I really believe that we're on the edge and the verge of a renaissance in this industry. I did come back after about a 7-year, 8-year hiatus. I've been in the real world. I've been making other companies millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. Now it's time to put it back to the people. So I'm glad to be on board. I really appreciate the culture that I'm being inducted into. I hope that I can serve all of you, whether you're in a group of mine or not. It's regardless, I'm here to serve and here to meet the greater good. So thank you for inviting me on board, and I love you all. Thank you very much.
Okay, we're not done with you yet. Did I recruit the crap out of you, or did I just love you until you finally realized that we were going to jump in the foxhole together? Would you tell them that?
Absolutely. Tom challenged me. I didn't want some sort of a figurehead on the top just telling me what to do. I said, we're going to get dirty together. He said, let's go. I got my boots on. He put his boots on, and here we are.
And what you guys, and the key to this business is finding things you are, finding people you aren't. And I've got skill sets Chris doesn't have. I can think of one. But the fact of the matter is, that's what we have to have. And I know that all of us collectively, we make an unbelievable team if we take our strengths and we apply those strengths and we recognize our weaknesses, work on our weaknesses, or find somebody that's good at what we aren't. And that's what's so cool about this. So Chris, I'm telling you, he's not going to get a microphone until he hits some ranks. So don't think I'm bringing some guy in here that is going to be telling you what to do without having done it, because that's the worst thing. And don't think that we're going to give him a big downline underneath him that to get elevated to the top. I am telling you, this business is completely about merit and playing the game big. And what I love about each and every one of you, and I've looked at every one of you on this board, you are all those people. And there is greatness in every one of you. And Denice and I talk every day about, and our heart hurts if you're not successful. And it breaks our hearts. And we always talk about what we can do to bring this level of integrity and performance and success up for all of you. Because we believe we got lucky. We truly do. We found the Wallachs at the right time. We found a couple good people that have gone crazy, about 20 of them, and it's worked out. But I still make no mistake. I still don't believe that I can tie the shoes of a Louis Ariaza or a Corey Gold or a Scott Pardulis or any of or a Cheryl Morley or any of those people. I know that 100% of our success is because of you people. And what we're committed to is levering that up and waiting for nobody. Waiting for nobody. And that's why this influencer group that I keep harping on, and now you guys have a taste of it, and put in the comments if you want to be in. So Marianne can write down your name, because we're going to form that group tonight. I wanted you to meet Chris so you'd have an idea. Requirements are going to be stiff. One of them is going to be required to register for the convention and play it big, because we can't play it small anymore. You saw Kelly Saunders' face. You saw the pain in her face from where she was, where she is, and where she wants to go. And what you didn't see was failure there. What you didn't see was futility there. You saw that she is so committed to being successful that it literally oozed out of her in the form of tears. And I know that's most of you. I knew because I was with her down in Australia, and I could just make her cry on demand. It was so awesome because she is so vulnerable and so real and so powerful. It's no wonder she was making hundreds of thousands of dollars in network marketing. And we've got to bring it back to her. So Des Morgan, another guy down in Australia, in New Zealand, unbelievable guy with unbelievable potential, has been here, has left. I take responsibility for him having left to go look for another mentor, another coach than me, because I wasn't able to deliver what he needed. And I want to not be that guy. I want you to look, and when people say, who's your mentor? I want people to say the influencer group. I want people to say 65 days in a wake up. I want people to say contactmapping.com. I want people to say all of it because of Denice Chenault, or all of it because of Ann Parker, or all of it because of this or that. And I tell all of you the same thing all the time. I don't ever want to contradict your people. I want you to give all credit to God, then Steve Wallach, then Dave Brisky, then Michelle Wallach. I want that to be the song of the day. While I go look for one person to call for your favorite part of the show called Let's Call Somebody, Denice, any closing words?
I'm muted.
Hello?
No, that was awesome. I think that was, I was like, I wasn't ready for Chris, and I should have been taking notes.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. And this poor guy came down here. He said, Tom, I'm going to come down. I'm going to study. I'm going to watch. And I said, no, you're not. I'm putting you on the radio, which I did. And then I turned around and he walked over here. We had a half an hour. And I said, by the way, you're going to be a major part of this show, because there are no scripts here. This is not corporate America where you practice the PowerPoint 4,000 times. You do like Kelly Saunderson just did, and you speak from your heart, and it will carry the day. I promise, of all 46 people on this call, the most loved person on this entire hour has been Kelly, because she showed us her heart. And every one of you, forget, I don't know if you saw the Hair on Fire call this morning, but if you did, you saw, the Hair on Fire call. I wore my Christmas sweater because I'm so handsome. And Denice talked about all this chest hair I have and how bad it looked. And she said it was actually a woman's deal.
The woman's, it had like a boat neck. It's terrible.
So here's how much I look in the mirror.
I didn't buy it, just so you got, but it was adorable because Courtney bought it and because we went to an ugly sweater party. But anyway, it's very cute.
But tell them the last part.
Oh, he almost wore it out the door. I was like.
Because I never look in the mirror. So I'm going to all these big meetings this afternoon. And she goes, Tom, you still have that Christmas sweater
You still have your sweater on. He was like, oh, no wonder I'm hot.
in the house. And almost into all these meetings with the dumb Christmas sweater. And I would have had to make a lie up like it was
I should have not said it. That would have been so good, though. I should have.
Looking good is overrated. People don't care what you look like.
You make that point, yes.
I don't care. Fit, not fit. Thin, not thin. Healthy, unhealthy. I will never judge you for that, because I know that you might not be where I want you to be on that parameter, but you're right where God wants you to be. And no, I love you no matter what's going on. So give me 1 second. I'm going to call this guy.
I just want to tell you, because I won't have an opportunity, but I just love all of you so much. And, it's just, it's a beautiful time of year, and in some ways it's a really difficult time of year for a lot of people. And so I think that our mission over the next 2 weeks is just to go and spread a ton of love out there. And, like Tom said, you are exactly where you should be right now. And it may not be comfortable, but it is the springboard to the next level. And we're going to create some big things in 2019, but love yourself and love everybody around you. And I just am so grateful.
And, this Instagram story is just the most dangerous, because everybody told me the more Tom Chenault I can be on that Instagram story, the more I'm going to be able to sell. There's no way in the world, because I have so many different personalities, I can identify who the hell I really am. But I am having a blast in Instagram, just being a goofball. And the comments that I get, you guys, would scare you to death. They go from one end of the spectrum to the other. And it all came into focus today with Kelsey. And by the way, Denice will tell them what my favorite thing about, if every woman that I love on TV, tell them what I love about them most.
A speech impediment.
You have a speech impediment. I love you. So how crazy is that?
He loves like Drew Barrymore. You know how she talks about
the woman that was married to Tom Cruise has a little speech impediment. Katie Holmes. I don't care what you look like, but if you have a speech impediment, I'm probably in love with you. I don't know what it is, but it just makes you look more real to me. So that's a little tip. That's a little TMI that you needed to know. But we're going to do a real quick. Here's the guy that I met at the airport. I told you guys about it on a 65 and a Wake Up coffee shop interview. And the guy would not stop talking. And so he showed up on my contact mapping app this morning. And I go, who's Johnny Roca? So I look over and there's all the notes. So I texted him saying, so the text message said, I'm going to look at the text message real quickly. It said, how's it going, Johnny? Is it a good day on Main Street? Because this guy started a business upholstering airplane interiors on Main Street in Longmont, which is really brilliant because there's so many airplanes on Main Street in Longmont. So this guy is talking and he tells me I look like 5 different actors. And then I told him I heard that I look like Nick Nolte, and I told him, because I'd been told that before, and because he's been arrested for DUI like 40 times and he looks like he's going to die. So anyway, make a long story short, I keep telling, and I also look like John Voight. And so because I've got the same mouth. So I told him, he goes, you don't look like those guys. I've been on Hollywood. So anyway, he is a character. He would never stop talking. And I kept saying, man, how can I help your business if you won't even stop talking? So now we're going to call him right now, and I'm going to play his coffee shop interview back on him again. He has no idea who I am because he's too busy broadcasting. He doesn't contact map anybody. He doesn't document anything. Watch me kick his butt. Where are you going, Nancy? Get back in there and sit back down. Oh, you did it. How funny is that? Nancy, I love you. Hey, we got those tickets too for GoPro. If you guys, hey Johnny, how are you, man?
Who's this?
This is Tom Chenault. I texted you a little while ago. How's it going?
Hey, pretty good.
Do you remember me?
I'm trying to.
Okay, I'm the guy you told. I told you I look like John Voight, and then I told you I look like the other guy.
Oh,
Nick.
dude, I met you over there at the airport.
Yeah, man, and I'm thinking about you, and I wondered how you were all pissed off at the guy because you were bumming a cigarette, and the guy wouldn't give you a cigarette. And I was thinking, and you told me that you'd been in the movie business and you were real famous, and then I thought about your business down there on Main Street, and I thought that you didn't have a wife or a girlfriend, and you moved here to Longmont. I've been thinking about you.
You read big time, man. What's up, man?
Nothing. When are we gonna get to? When are we gonna get together?
I don't know. I'm over here just doing a couple reps with some 20s and some 30s. What are you up to? Where are you in Longmont right now? You over here by Main Street?
Are you at Planet Fitness?
No, I'm not. I'm over here at my shop. I stay in the shop. I got like a big 20 by 40 room in the back.
Oh, so you live in the shop too?
Yeah, at the moment right now until I can get a place, man. It's really hardcore living here because anyway, but that's my problem.
No, it isn't your problem. It's my problem. Why the hell do you think I called you? I am called. My nickname is Mr. Solution.
Really?
Yeah,
what
that's.
do you do, man? Come on out here. We'll have a drink. You buying?
Do you remember? I will buy you a drink. And had you really listened to me, I told you I haven't had a drink in 30 years, so I'm probably just going to drink sarsaparilla.
Oh, man, I'm good. I can drink anything. I'm down with juice, really, mostly.
All right. Well, I just want you to know I've been thinking about you. I think I can help you. I know everybody in Longmont, so I can drive people to your upholstery business. I got my airplane back, so you can come and look at that over the next few days. But I just want you to know that when I met you, I felt I can't believe it. Number one, I'm weeping right now because you didn't remember me, because I felt a connection.
Oh, yeah. I'm out there. I think yeah, man. You got pizzazz. You got personality. You still got some, good nutrition.
All right,
Going
man.
through the body, your mind's still rocking and rolling, man.
Yeah. So I'm going to come and find you, but I want you to know you are in my sights, and you're in my sights as a person whose life I am committed to change. And
that's nice of you.
yeah, and so I'm going to come and I'm going to bring a couple people by to meet you, and we're going to change your life. We sell ink by the barrel. We've got huge connections, and our job is to help other people. That's the only reason I exist, and you are my man. You're in my sights, okay?
Cool, dude. So you got your plane back, huh?
Yeah, it's back.
How many seats you got in it?
4, so I can take you wherever you want to go, and if you have any friends, I can take them too, but since you don't have any friends, it's just going to be the 2 of us.
I met a couple girls, this week, but, you meet them here, you meet them there, and they just come and go,
Bring them! All right, I'll talk to you later. I'll see you before you know it, man. All right, bye-bye. All right. So that's what you do, I made the guy fall in love with me all over again after forgetting who I was. And he had no idea. And I sent him my contact card, because that's another thing I do. So my contact card has everything in it. This guy got this as a text, which you guys should do. The minute they give you their phone number, you send them a text message with all your information in it. So there's your picture. That's your business card. So there's nothing on there that's going to have them hate me. All it's got is my phone number, TomChenault@gmail.com, www.contactmapping.com, the office building, in case that's my address because I don't want them coming over and robbing me blind. And actually, you guys, look at that. That also, I don't know if contact mapping does this or how I do that, but anybody that comes in aggregates every social media person, every profile out there is pulled in here. But I don't know if that's part of contact mapping or whatever. I sure as hell didn't put all that in. So that came in somewhere. So that's pretty cool. Let's see what else is here. Then at the bottom, I don't want too much information there because I don't want to have him know too much about me. So it says lives in Longmont, married. He should have remembered that. 3 kids, 3 grandkids, co-founder of Contact Mapping, professional network marketer, because I don't want any kind of question there, pilot, and that's it. How about that? Okay, was that good? Was that good? Was that a good let's call somebody or not? Yeah. Yeah. Look, I'm looking at all these notes. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yes, that's in contact mapping. That was, and so here's what the great thing about the contact mapping thing is in the notes that you've got in contact mapping, when I send this thing, and if this were Ann Parker, and Ann Parker says, man, I really want you to meet Tom Chenault, and all the notes about Tom Chenault and Ann Parker's interactions were in, think about it, Ann, think about it, and yeah, if you'd have had those and all the notes and you'd have sent that to that guy, he'd have swallowed his cigar because you and I have had some rough words that I've got notes on. So you'd have sent those to that guy and that guy would have said, this guy is a bean brain. I don't want to talk to him. So all the pertinent stuff that's never going to be shared with anybody that's personal to you is in the contact mapping app, Jim McCormick. Uh-oh, I'm calling somebody else. Oh, I'm calling Tom Chenault. I love him. So anyway, that's how we do it. Does that make sense to you? Set it up today. And here's what my plan was when I told you I was going to attack you. Everybody said that they want to be an influencer. I was going to ask you, Peggy Gleason, Rock Rice, Tammy Willis, Vincent Cunningham, Jim McCormick, I know why you're not, Chris Ebersberg, Ruth, Devin Sugg, Carmen. I was going to go through every name on here. Bobby Knight, James Earl Moore, Marianne Niehaus, David Peters, Maxine Loftum, Kelly Saunderson. I asked her, Nancy Modlin. All you people, I was going to ask you if you have the contact mapping app set up and you're using it, and the Longevity to Go app set up and you're using it. And I'm not talking about the free trial. I'm talking about the $10 a month, because these businesses that you got cost money. You did not hear me apologize for the cost of the convention. I'm not going to apologize for that. You couldn't get, if you're going to have a business, treat it like a business. You're going to spend a little bit of money for that business, and it's going to be money well spent. And that includes you, Dr. Lisa Singletary, Hanny, Cy, Glenn Schultz, Des Morgan, Kate, Lou Gallardi, Dylan, Mindy Cohen, Chad Williams, Cadillac, Lamone, Claire. I tried to call you on FaceTime a little while ago to introduce you to Chris. You didn't even pick up my call. It breaks my heart. I'm weeping. And then 5 minutes later, you texted Denice Chenault and Adrian Chenault and told them you're doing the social media meeting tomorrow. So I know you saw it. So now I'm in therapy. It's unbelievable. You guys, this beats working. This beats working. Marianne and I and Adrian are going to get together tomorrow to figure out exactly what questions for the requirements to get into the influencer group. We're going to set it up. We're going to figure out if it's supposed to be an open meeting, a closed meeting, an AA meeting, an ASPCA meeting, whatever. I don't even know what those groups are. We're going to talk to Kelsey, but I am going to die trying to get you to where you want to go in Longevity. It's that simple. I love you. I love you. I love you. If you're in Longmont, in Denver, in Colorado, presentation school starts in an hour and a half. Denice, we're on our way. I saw her jumping up to go change clothes because we're going to go pick her up for dinner real quick, and then we're going. Everybody, I love you. Thank you. What?
Merry Christmas. Love you all.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much, Tom.
Merry Christmas.
Rock on. Have a blessed night.
2019.
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Like 3%.
2019.
No, Samsung.